This may be my inaugural, and potentially terminal, report concerning the human captives secured during the offensive on their outlying colony. I am compelled to document these events whilst I retain some semblance of composure, despite the tremor in my hands as I record this. We successfully apprehended 23 humans during our incursion at Settlement P249. Our initial jubilation regarding this triumph proved premature. With hindsight, I ought to have recognized the ominous indicators when they boarded our vessels without opposition, some even extending salutations to our assault squads. The initial indication that something was profoundly amiss materialized during processing. In accordance with established protocol, we segregated the prisoners into holding cells engineered to induce maximum psychological duress. These cells, crafted utilizing our most sophisticated anxiety-inducing architecture, have subjugated the spirits of countless species. The inclined walls, the perpetually shifting shadows, the subsonic reverberations, all meticulously calibrated to shatter the minds of our adversaries. Yet these humans, these intolerable humans, prisoner Nova Chen, their apparent leader, surveyed her cell and declared, ostensibly to no one in particular, well, the interior decorator truly committed to that evil space dungeon aesthetic. I'd rate it 3 stars on Yelp, could benefit from some throw pillows. The others actually chuckled. They chuckled within my detention center. During the initial interrogation session, I personally questioned Chen. The transcript is as follows: Zakra, you shall divulge the defense codes for your central command. Chen responded, sure thing, it's password 123. No, wait, perhaps it was admin. You know how it is with passwords, always forgetting them. Have you attempted power cycling the defense system? Zakra, your attempts at levity will not avail you. We possess methods of extracting information. Chen, is this the juncture where you unveil the implements of torture? Because I ought to forewarn you, I am exceedingly ticklish, I might actually derive pleasure from it. The other prisoners proved equally insufferable. When Officer Blas endeavored to intimidate prisoner Raven Martinez with our neuropain inducer, Martinez commenced critiquing his technique. The whole scary alien thing is a solid 7 out of 10, Martinez stated, ostensibly experiencing excruciating pain, but the cape is a bit much. You're trying too hard, buddy, less is more. Our psychological warfare experts are perplexed. Dr. KYX, our leading behavioral analyst, attempted to disrupt their group dynamic by segregating them. This only resulted in them exchanging jests between cells and organizing what they termed open mic nights. The humans have somehow transformed cell block D into what they refer to as the comedy cellar. Even our most hardened guards have reported hearing muffled laughter during nocturnal shifts. 3 guards have already requested transfers, asserting that the humans' incessant dad jokes are impairing their professional demeanor. Most disconcerting of all, I overheard Chen consoling a newly arrived guard who was experiencing relationship tribulations. She actually dispensed relationship advice through the force field. The guard now furnishes her with supplementary food rations in exchange for what the humans term therapy sessions. This is unprecedented. In all my cycles of service, I have never encountered prisoners who simply refuse to be intimidated. They treat our most secure detention facility like some sort of, what did they call it, a summer camp. I am submitting an urgent request for guidance from high command. The humans must possess some vulnerability, some breaking point. But I deeply fear, that we may have captured something we do not comprehend, and they are aware of it. As I conclude this report, I can hear them commencing another one of their comedy shows. Chen's voice carries down the corridor, hey, what do you call a tie-in with a sense of humor? Unemployed. The worst part? I almost chuckled. I command. The situation has deteriorated significantly since my last report. While our traditional prisoners, the Zenquilians, and even the notorious Krav warriors, continue to exhibit appropriate levels of terror and submission, the human influence is spreading like a contagion throughout my facility. It commenced 3 cycles ago. The humans initiated what they termed the Alpha 7 prison variety show. Prisoner known somehow persuaded Guard Lieutenant Pax to permit them to congregate in the common area, asserting it would enhance prisoner morale. I approved, foolishly believing that allowing them to exhaust themselves with their ridiculous behavior would ultimately shatter their spirits. I was wrong, so catastrophically wrong. The inaugural show featured prisoner Raven Martinez performing what they termed stand-up comedy about our security protocols. Why do Tyrian guards invariably travel in pairs? She queried the assembled prisoners. Because they can only count to 2. The other humans erupted in laughter, but that wasn't what concerned me. No, what chilled my spinal cords was the sound of a Zenari prisoner, one of our most fearful captives, laughing. The subsequent day, we apprehended a Quillian prisoner attempting to narrate a knock-knock joke to his cellmate. When questioned, he asserted the humans were providing comedy lessons through the ventilation systems. We've deactivated the vents between sectors, but somehow their influence continues to proliferate. Guard Captain Blas submitted a concerning report this morning. During routine intimidation rounds, a Krav warrior, a species renowned for their stoic acceptance of torture, responded to threats of neural punishment by stating, "That's rough, buddy. Have you considered meditation?" Nova says it works wonders for anger management. The guard staff's behavior has become increasingly unreliable. 3 more guards have requested transfers. Officer TH was caught sharing what humans term memes during his shift. When confronted, he asserted they were simply too relatable. I had him suspended, but the damage was done. Most alarming is the alteration in our prisoner hierarchy. Traditionally, the Zentar submit to everyone, being natural cowards. Yet yesterday, I witnessed a Zari prisoner stand up to a guard, utilizing what I can only describe as sarcasm. "Guard, your nutrition pellets will be reduced for disobedience." Zenari prisoner, "Oh no, not the bland, tasteless pellets. How will I survive without my daily dose of depression in food form?" The guard was so shocked, he actually withdrew from the cell. This is unprecedented. The humans haven't just refused to break, they're teaching others to be unbreakable. This morning, I passed cell block D and heard Chen leading what she termed an improv workshop. She was instructing a mixed group of prisoners something called yes, and, apparently a technique for building on others' ideas. I don't comprehend the purpose, but I know it can't be beneficial for discipline. The humans have initiated naming their cell blocks. They call A block the penthouse, B block the boutique, and C block the spa. This morning, I discovered a crude sign on D block reading comedy club. 2 drink minimum, water rations only. Management not responsible for lost dignity. Most disturbing of all was yesterday's incident. During a routine neural scan, we detected elevated serotonin levels across all prisoner sectors. They're not just refusing to be miserable, they're actively becoming happier. I've doubled the guard rotations and implemented strict protocols against humor-related contraband. Yesterday, we confiscated 3 hand-drawn comic strips depicting daily life in the prison. The artists had somehow rendered our most fearsome guards as looking cute. Even my most experienced staff members are exhibiting indications of strain. This morning, I overheard Officer Blas humming something Chen calls show tunes. When confronted, he asserted it was stuck in his head. He's now in counseling. The humans have scheduled another show for tonight, themed Tie-in Fashion Week, a critique of evil overlord aesthetics. I should cancel it, but the last time we attempted to halt their performances, they simply did something worse. They commenced what they termed prison theater, acting out exaggerated versions of their capture. Their portrayal of our feared assault teams as, quote, adorable space kittens trying to be scary took weeks to live down. I am officially requesting immediate reinforcements from specialists trained in human psychological warfare, though, given what I've witnessed, I doubt it will avail. These humans don't just resist fear, they mock it, reshape it, and somehow transform it into entertainment. And they're teaching others to do the same. End report. Commander Zakra, Taiyan Empire Fleet. Report status, critical. Immediate action required. PS Guard Captain Blas just informed me that the humans are taking booking requests for next week's show. 3 Krav warriors have already signed up for what they're calling open mic night. We're losing control, and somewhere in cell block D, Novachin is probably making a joke about it. Official report, Detention Center Alpha 7, date, Galactic Standard 44721.2, subject, scientific investigation results. From Commander Zakra, Taiyan Empire Fleet. I command M. The scientific team you dispatched, led by Dr. KYX, has completed their initial analysis of the human prisoners. Their findings are troubling. I'm struggling to maintain professional detachment as I relay this information. Dr. KYX commenced with standard psychological probes on prisoner Nova Chen. The session transcript follows. KYX, explain your persistent cheerfulness despite captivity. Chen, oh, you know how it is, document. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When life gives you a cell in an alien prison, you start a comedy club. KYX, this behavior is a malfunction. We can help correct it. Chen, speaking of malfunctions, your electrode is crooked here. Let me. There. Much better. Now you look like a proper mad scientist. Really sells the whole evil empire aesthetic. The probe was terminated after Chen began offering Dr. KYX tips on dramatic villain lighting for future interrogations. Brain scans have revealed something unprecedented. When exposed to fear stimuli, the human's neural patterns show initial stress responses, but they quickly transform these signals into pleasure. They literally convert their fear into entertainment. Dr. KYX's team discovered that human humor serves as a sophisticated defense mechanism, more effective than any physical resistance. When confronted with threatening situations, they instinctively reframe them as absurd or amusing, neutralizing our psychological weapons. An experiment with prisoner Raven Martinez proved particularly enlightening. KYX, we've developed a new neural suppressant. Martinez, ooh, is it cherry flavored? The last one tasted like battery acid mixed with regret. KYX, this will cause intense discomfort. Martinez, that's what Mix said about their cooking. Are you two related? The guard administering the suppressant actually laughed. He's been reassigned to waste management. More concerning are the results of our influence tracking studies. The human's behavioral patterns are spreading through our prisoner population with virus-like efficiency. Dr. KYX identifies 3 stages of what she terms human humor infection. Stage 1, confusion. Prisoners observe humans responding to punishment with jokes, causing cognitive dissonance. Stage 2, experimentation. Prisoners begin testing small acts of humorous defiance, usually starting with sarcastic compliance. Stage 3, full conversion. Prisoners develop their own style of humor-based resistance, often worse than the humans. We've documented 47 cases of full conversion, including, most shockingly, some among our own staff. Guard Captain Blas, once our most ruthless officer, now runs what he calls comedy appreciation seminars during his off hours. When confronted, he defended himself by saying, "Laughter is the best medicine." Have you seen our medical bay? We need all the help we can get. The humans have begun mentoring other species in what they call the art of not giving a damn. Yesterday, I witnessed a Quillian prisoner, traditionally among our most submissive captives, respond to a threat assessment with, "Do your worst." Dr. KYX attempted to isolate the source of human resilience through deep psychological scanning. The results were, and I quote directly from her report, humans appear to possess an evolutionary adaptation that transforms psychological pressure into entertainment. The more we attempt to break them, the more ammunition we provide for their humor. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that renders traditional subjugation methods not only ineffective but counterproductive. She added a personal note, also, prisoner Chen's observation about my lab coat being so last season was unnecessarily accurate. The research team has identified several guard-prisoner interactions that demonstrate dangerous levels of sympathy. Officer TH now brings human prisoners extra rations in exchange for what they call comedy coaching. 3 guards have been caught participating in something called improv games during shift changes. The night shift has started a joke of the day contest. Dr. KYX herself was overheard telling a knock-knock joke in the staff lounge. Most alarming is the humans' latest initiative. They've started a prison newsletter called The Alpha 7 Times, all the news that's fit to mock. Somehow, copies are appearing throughout the facility, despite our best efforts to confiscate them. Dr. KYX's final recommendation is unprecedented. She suggests that attempting to break the human psychologically may be impossible, as their ability to find humor in hardship makes them effectively immune to terror-based control. Their exact words were, "We're not breaking them, they're breaking us, and the worst part is, they're making us enjoy it." I'm including her full report, though I warn you, the humans have somehow convinced her to add comedic footnotes to her scientific observations. End report. Commander Chakra, Taiyan Empire Fleet. Report status, urgent. Paradigm shift required. P.S. This morning, I found a crude drawing on my office door showing me with a frown. The caption read, "Turn that frown upside down, Commander Grumpy Scales." I'm not smiling. I'm not. The corner of my mouth just twitched involuntarily. Send help. High command, priority alert. Everything is falling apart. The humans haven't escaped their cells, but something far worse has happened, they've escaped our control. The situation has devolved beyond my worst nightmares. This morning, during standard intimidation rounds, a Zenari prisoner responded to threats of solitary confinement by saying, "Oh good, some peace and quiet. These comedy shows are killing me." Then he turned to his cellmate and added, "Get it? Killing me? I'll be here all week." Both prisoners laughed. The guard laughed. I had him detained for treason, but when I checked the detention log, I found someone had renamed our disciplinary unit the Timeout Corner. The Krav warriors, once our most feared combat prisoners, have started what they call roast battles, ritualized exchanges of insults and jokes. Yesterday, the winner made guard Captain Blah's cry with a devastatingly accurate impression of his tough guy walk. Our security feeds show increasing signs of total protocol breakdown. 0600 hours, 3 Quillian prisoners organized a meditation circle where they practiced something called laughing yoga. 0900 hours, a group of guards was caught participating in what Novachin calls theater sports. They were acting out exaggerated versions of our empire's propaganda videos. 1200 hours, the cafeteria erupted in synchronized singing of the song "Don't Worry, Be Happy." Even the automated serving units were bobbing in rhythm. 1500 hours, Dr. KYX's entire research team attended something called Stand-Up Comedy 101, taught by prisoner Raven Martinez. Their excuse? Research purposes. 1800 hours, I discovered my personal guard detail had started a book club. They were reading human comedy literature. The current selection, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The humans have weaponized joy. Each attempt to restore order backfires spectacularly. When I ordered increased neurosuppression, the prisoners started a betting pool on who could make the most ridiculous face while under its effects. Chen won with something she calls blue steel. This morning, I received reports of guard units refusing direct orders, claiming they don't pass the vibe check. I had to look up what that meant. I wish I hadn't. The prison communication system has been compromised. Instead of our standard alert tones, it now plays something called circus music during announcements. My demands to know who reprogrammed it were met with a facility-wide chorus of "Who let the dogs out?" The humans have started awarding medals made from cafeteria trays to guards who show outstanding achievement in not being a total buzzkill. 3 of my senior officers are wearing them. They claim it's ironic. I'm no longer sure they know what that word means. My paranoia grows by the hour. This morning, I caught myself humming a human show tune during my inspection rounds. When I scowled at a prisoner, they said, "That's the spirit. Really lean into the villain role." I realized I was posed dramatically, with my cape caught in the ventilation breeze. Even our automated systems are affected. The Security 6 now ends every scan with "Badum TSS." When questioned, the tech team said they couldn't fix it because, and I quote, "It's developed a sense of comic timing." The breaking point came during today's facility-wide security check. As I walked through Cell Block D, now officially labeled Comedy Central on all our maps, I witnessed the following exchange: "Guard, alright, prisoners, against the wall." Chen, "But the acoustics are better in the center of the cell." Guard, "This is a serious inspection." Chen, "Hi, serious inspection. I'm Nova." The entire block, including 2 senior officers and a member of my personal staff, burst into laughter. When I demanded silence, someone started playing what the humans call rim shots after every sentence I spoke. Our attempts to identify the source of the sound failed because the investigating team kept trying to time their findings with the beats. I'd begun seeing jokes everywhere. Are the shadows in my office making funny shapes on purpose? Did that maintenance bot just wink at me? Why does every report I receive now feel like it's setting up a punchline? The humans have organized their cells into entertainment districts. We have the Improv Quarter, formerly Maximum Security Wing, Stand-Up Street, High-Risk Containment, the Atrium, Solitary Confinement, and the Laugh Factory, Interrogation Block. Prisoner transfers have become impossible because no one wants to leave what they're calling the best club in the galaxy. 3 other detention facilities have requested our entertainment program. One asked about franchise opportunities. Most disturbing of all, I've received a formal request from the Guard Union for better comedic training opportunities and more flexible hours to accommodate show schedules. It was marked as urgent and included a smiley face. I've barricaded myself in my office. The security feeds show increasing chaos. The Krav warriors have started a dance crew. The Zentaur are doing comedy skits about their own cowardice. The Quillians have formed an a cappella group. Dr. KYX's team is peer-reviewing jokes for scientific accuracy. The maintenance staff is taking improv classes. And through it all, Nova Chin sits in her cell, smiling like she planned this from the start. Wait, did she? Was this their strategy all along? Turn our prison into a comedy club so bizarre we can't maintain discipline? The guards are now calling me Commander Chuckles behind my back. I heard laughter in the ventilation system. The security cameras seem to be arranged in a smile pattern. Send reinforcements. Send serious reinforcements, the kind that don't get jokes. Though I fear it's too late. The humans haven't just resisted our control, they've made it ridiculous. How do you maintain an empire of fear when no one's afraid anymore? Someone just slipped a note under my door. It reads, "Why did the commander cross the galaxy?" To get to the funny side. I didn't laugh. I didn't. End report. Commander Sakra, Taiyan Empire Fleet. Report status, critical. Send help. No comedians. Yes, the guards have started a comedy podcast. They're calling it Laughing Stock Tales, from the fun side of tyranny. Our empire is doomed, and somewhere Nova Chen is probably working on the perfect punchline. To whoever still reads these reports, it's over. The facility has fallen. Not to violence, not to force, but to something far more powerful, coordinated comedy. It began during what was supposed to be a routine evening inspection. The humans had announced their first annual Alpha 7 Comedy Festival, which I foolishly allowed, believing it would contain their influence to one area. I was wrong, so catastrophically wrong. As I entered the main hall, Nova Chin stood on a makeshift stage addressing a mixed crowd of prisoners and guards. Ladies, gentlemen, and various tentacled beings, welcome to Operation Laughter's Endgame. For those wondering, yes, this was the plan all along. You didn't really think we got captured by accident, did you? The revelation hit me like a neural shock. They had surrendered deliberately. Every joke, every show, every ridiculous moment had been carefully orchestrated psychological warfare. Chen continued, when the Taiyan Empire attacked Earth, they expected resistance. They expected violence. Instead, we gave them comedy. Because here's the funny thing about fear, it can't survive being laughed at. That's when the guards, my guards, started removing their neurocontrol devices. Captain Blas stepped forward first, tossing his device aside with a theatrical bow. Sorry, Commander, he said, not looking sorry at all, but Chen's right. I haven't actually intimidated anyone in weeks. Been faking it. We all have. The prisoners' jokes are just better than our threats. Sector by sector, the facility transformed. The Krav warriors performed a synchronized dance routine to what humans call the Macarena. The Zentaur unveiled a comedy rock opera about their imprisonment. Even the Quillians, our most timid prisoners, presented a satirical documentary titled How to Succeed in Evil Without Really Trying. I ordered the automated security systems to activate in response. The entire facility broke into something called the wave. Even the security drones joined in, their force field generators creating a rippling light show. When I threatened to call in orbital strikes, Raven Martinez took the stage. Quick question, how many Tian commanders does it take to change a light bulb? None. They just declared darkness their new standard of fear. The command center erupted in laughter. My own staff was crying with mirth at their stations. I tried engaging the neural suppressors. The prisoners had prepared for this. They launched into a choreographed routine they called the Ministry of Silly Walks, making the suppression effects look like part of the performance. Chen approached me directly, still holding her makeshift microphone. Here's the thing about humans, Commander, we've been laughing at death since we first understood what it was. You can't break people who can find humor in their own end. But more importantly, you can't rule people who can make you laugh with them. The evidence of their long game was everywhere. The comedy classes had been resistance training. The improv sessions were coordination exercises. The newsletters had spread their tactical plans disguised as jokes. Even Dr. KYX's research had played into their hands, teaching other species to weaponize humor. The guards formed a comedy conga line. The Security Six started playing Don't Stop Believing through all speakers. A Zari prisoner unfurled a banner reading, "The revolution will be hilarious." I made one final attempt to restore order. This is still a prison. I am still in command. Chen's response, really? Because from here, it looks more like a comedy club, and buddy, you've lost the room. She was right. The guards were now taking selfies with prisoners. Dr. KYX's team had started a wave of coordinated jazz hands. The maintenance bots were performing what appeared to be a robot stand-up routine. The humans had achieved what no other species had managed in the history of our empire. They didn't just resist our fear, they made it impossible to maintain. How do you intimidate someone who can turn your most serious threats into punchlines? As I write this, the facility has been peacefully occupied by what they're calling the United Comedy Coalition. They've issued demands: recognition of laughter as a basic right, implementation of galaxy-wide comedy education, mandatory joke breaks for all species, and a formal apology for being such galactic party poopers. The worst part? High Command can't stop them. You can't intimidate a revolution that's already laughing at you. Chen just delivered their final